All right. Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to my channel. And the rain has finally stopped. Hopefully, everyone survived the hurricane and not too much damage wherever you are. But we've had a couple of days of rain here, some lost power, and so things were a little on hold for building. But the rain stopped finally, so we have sunshine. So today's a good day to get back in the shop. Being that it's coming up to Halloween, what we're doing is I'm gonna make some coffins, but those are coffin bookcases. I have I'm working on a coffin coffee table, but today what I'm gonna do today is something simple, something quick. You can make a few bucks on it, and it'll be a good seller. If not, it'll be a cool thing to do. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a coffin snack tray that slides under your or seat or slides under your couch, but shaped like a coffin. So we're going to show you how to do that real quick. It's a fast, easy job. Uh, you should be able to knock this out pretty quick. I mean, they'll sell for anywhere from 75, seen them for 75 to 150 bucks. So I think it'll be a good deal to do. So what we're going to do is you're going to need 2x4. You're going to need a 1x12. So get yourself, run down to Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever, get yourself a board, pick up a 2x4, and you can turn one of these out pretty quick. So time to put the coffee down and get to work. So today we're using got my microphones, so hopefully the audio will be so much better. I think it will. First off, what you want to do is you want to cut down your 2x4. I've already cut down mine. I've taken the edges off, so it's nice and square. So you want to cut it down to 25 inches, or depending on the type of couch that you have. I have a sectional couch, so with recliners. So I made my first one I made was a little bit higher, so it's it needs to be a little shorter for me. But for you, measure up your couch, see how high you want to go. So I'm going to do 25 inches on this. You want to take your 1x12 and you want to cut down the base. You want 22 inches. So we're going to do that real quick. Cut this down. I'm going to break the tape measure out. 22 inches. All right. Got your one board. You want to do your top piece. Do that 22 inches also. So just take this out, tie this up here, measure that out so we get the same boards. Okay, so now want to give everything a quick sand, get it sanded down nice and smooth. I'm going to start out just knocking it down with a 150 grit. That's always a safe number to go with, especially when you're dealing with this kind of wood, because it's just easier. Then I'll hit it with a 220 on the end before I stain it, sorry, and then it'll be nice and smooth, come out nice and come out look good. Well, maybe. Well, time to get a new sander. There we go. So we got that all sanded down. So now you want to pick your better wood for your top or your bottom. This one's got some beat up on the sides. Don't matter. We're going to cut it off anyway. So now what you want to do is you want to measure. So you finally wrote some plans down so I can see what the heck I'm doing. Half the time I just wing it. But we're going to try and do something normal here today. So, all right, we're going to measure 3 inches on either side. Put your mark. Right there. And 2 inches on the top. Okay. Now, I'm going to break out your square. And you're going to want to go 7.5 inches from the top. Put a mark there. And that's where you're going to have your angles go to. So just connect the dots. There we go. There you go. You got your basic coffin shape. So now, easiest way to do this, if you don't have compound miter, sliding miter, then you could use a jigsaw. You could use table saw, but I'm going to use the miter saw. So let's make these cuts real quick. So they're going to be a 15-degree on the top on this part. So I'm going to do that on both sides. On the bottom, we're going to flip this around. And the bottom is going to be whoa. See that? That's why you got to be careful. The bottom's going to be 11 degrees. So good we didn't damage anything. So we're going to be careful on the next one. There you go. Got yourself a coffin. Now you could run your sander over it again if you want. This is a good time to do that. Clean everything up a little, but we're going to do a router right on the edges. I got to clean a little bit off of that. All right. So got that done. Got that done. Got your bottom done. So now, all right, what do we got? So you want to go 4.5 inches up from the bottom of the coffin, because that's where you're going to make your mark. Now, there's different ways to mount this. You can drill right through it, screw it in. You could use dowels. Me, I don't want to sit out on the top of the coffin. I want it to be smooth all the way across. So we're just going to route out halfway down on the coffin and on the base. On the bottom of the base, we're going to put screws in on the bottom. And this way, when it's all glued up together, it'll be a nice, easy seam. You won't see anything. It'll look nice and smooth. So we're going to go 4.5 inches up from here on the coffin, and you're going to go 2.5 inches on the base, because you want the base to go under the couch. So now what you want to do is you want to find your center on your 2x4, or in this case it'll be 2x3.5. So inch and a half is 3, so 1 3/4. So there's our mark. 1 3/4. Center here. So we want to do the same thing on the bottom of the coffin, which is 5 3/4. So that'll be 2, 2.5 is 5. So 2, roughly around 2 3/4, which will be 4, 5.5. Close enough. So 3, 2 3/4. So look at that. I'm right on point. So you want to center your mark here, like that. Now you want to trace this around. Okay, make your square there. There's your center of the board here. So this is going to be 11 1/4. So we're going to go 5.5, 10, 5 3/4. So we're going to do the same thing here, right there. And you're going to do the same thing on this. Mark that, trace this out. All right. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a 1/4 inch in my, I'm missing my straight bit, so we're going to have to go with a 5/8 straight bit and trace this out, which we're going to chisel out a little bit also on top of that. Bust out the router. And took some time yesterday and tore apart my area here, trying to neaten it up, but it doesn't look like I did anything but move junk around. So we're going to try and make this shop area a little bit nicer. Eventually, I got to build cabinets down here for drawers. I need more space to put my stuff. So I'm running out of room. But update on the coffee table. The coffee table came out awesome in my last video. customer was super happy about it, and now I have to build a TV stand to match it. So she gave me a printout. So we're going to be doing that. And then she also sent over a friend of hers that wants basically the same thing. So you get your, once you start getting your stuff out there, everybody knows somebody. So, and you slowly build your business that way. So we'll see how it all turns out. So we're going to do this. So now what we're going to do is, right, we want to go halfway down. So we want to, there we go, right there. So we want to go down about, just about a quarter of an inch, a little bit more than a quarter of an inch. Measure whatever type of wood that you're using, 3/4 of an inch, 1 inch, whatever. You just want to go halfway down. So that's on my measurement. So we're going to set this to that depth so that we don't blast through it and make a total mess. There we go. So got that. So now we're going to give this a shot and see how this works. If I can find a battery. Here we go. So now we'll give this a shot. Alrighty. So we're gonna do. Oh, you know what I need? I need freaking glasses because this stuff is gonna go all over the place. I don't feel like getting wood in my eyeballs. I have a bad habit of not using my safety equipment in my own shop. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Unfortunately, you should always wear your safety equipment because that's what you should do. And I'll eventually remember it all the time, but half the time I don't. Not saying it's a smart move, but it is what I do. So let's see how this is going to work. So, yeah, all right, let's try that. All right, so now we're going to do something we're not supposed to do because I can't see anything. So there we go. So my blade's smoking like a freight train. So probably should have went, did a first pass and then dropped it down and did another pass, but covered in dust. Let's fix that problem real quick. Yeah, that's gonna be a mess. Joys of working in a small shop. Cloudy, messy. Look at that, smoke everywhere. I guess we gotta air out the garage. Yeah, I think we're gonna need to get some of this smoke out of here. Hey, I guess we're gonna have to definitely get new blades. I think I just killed that one. But thank God for Harbor Freight, they're not that expensive. So what we're gonna do here is, yeah, that's cooked. Now we're gonna use on that. We're gonna use a 1/4 inch round over on the edges to really clean it up, make it look halfway decent. Well, we're gonna have to chisel out the squares we just routed out because they're not going to be the same. They're not going to fit. So let's give it a test run, see what we got. Yep. We're going to have to chisel out some stuff here. So let's break out the chisels. And again, we're new, I'm not really, with a 1/4 inch, it would have done it perfectly. And you would only have to do a little bit, but unfortunately, we have to do a lot. Like I said, you could just screw it in and be done with it. But I want it to come out somewhat decent, especially if you're going to sell them. So you definitely want to use the right tools if you got them. Me, I don't, so I got to deal with what I got. There's probably a better way to do this, but I don't know. So we are going to do it this way. And we're still off a little bit more, so. And if you got a better way to do this, leave it in the comment section. And if you like what I'm doing here, and you find it interesting enough, at least watch me do things the wrong way, probably. Like and subscribe to the channel. And I'll show you all my weird ways of building things. And we are just about in there. Perfect. Look at that. See? There you go. So that fits. We're going to clean that up a little bit more so it'll get flush in there. But now we're going to do the same thing to the base so that we get this to fit. All right, there we go. Now we're going to just do some wood filler and fill in the edges here because it's not exactly perfect. But that's what we're going to have to do to make it look good. So this is your product. Oh. That's why we got to glue this sucker in. There we go. So that's going to be that. We'll have to get some glue and glue that in so it stays put. But we're going to route the edges on this now. So let's break out the handy pucks by Rockla. These things are cool to have. They help out a lot. All right. I cleaned up the edges nice. Now this is where you want to do your final sand. Get all your imperfections out. I routed the top part. I didn't do the bottom part because I wanted to sit flat and look. It gives it a nice finished look on the bottom. So, yeah, no dust collection in here. This is my dust collection. Like I said, we'll be turning on the blower in a little while after this is done and blow out the garage. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to glue this in. And that's where we're going to bust out a little bit of CA glue because that'll help it get real nice and strong real quick so we don't have to worry about it falling apart. This is not working, so we're not level, maybe? Oh, there it is. Nope, it took a second. Ha! There we go. Right there. Now we're straight. So now, what I'll do is 2-inch screws in the bottom just to make sure that it stays put. So we're going to bust out drills. We're going to pre-drill our holes so we don't split anything. And I'm using 2-inch screws. All right, see that? Not bad. Can't even notice it. Again, don't point out your mistakes because at the end of the day, no one's going to know but you, as long as it's not a huge mistake. But if it's a minor mistake, half the time people are not even going to notice it. And again, I have that problem. I point out a lot of my mistakes. So I try not to do that. Here's the trial and error when you're building these things. Sometimes you got to play with it, get it to fit perfect. That's this side's not. There it is. There we go. There it is. There we go. Now we got something. So let's just for giggles. There we go. Right there. Perfect. So when you glue it in, want to make sure you're level or however you want to do it. So sometimes you want it on an angle depending on how your couch is set up. If you're in a recliner, you might want to angle it down a little bit, not too much, so then your stuff will fly right off. But me, I like it on a little bit of a slight angle. So this way, but I'll keep this one straight because if you're going to be selling them, you want to keep them straight anyway. So, but an easy build, not a bad build. So again, you could recess the screws, and sorry about that. You can recess the screws, and this way, we ain't got much time. There we go. Recess the screws and use dowels. You can go that route too. But again, you're not putting a lot of weight on this. So you're putting a coffee cup, you're putting a bowl of snacks on there while you're watching your scary movies or whatever movies you want to watch. But you're not sitting on it, you're not leaning on it. So as far as anything is concerned, it'll work. So that's that. You got it done now. Now you want to clean it up now. So now you want to sand everything down again. Get it down to 220. Then you want to put your stain on it. You're all pretty squared away, so that looks good. So now what you want to do is you get your stain it. I stain mine black like that. And got yourself a little snack tray. I put little feet on the bottom of mine. I don't know if you can see that right here on the corners. This way it'll sit nice and straight, sturdier on the carpet. If you don't have carpet, you could just put the little foam pads on the bottom. This way it doesn't scratch up the floors. But it's a simple project. 1, 2, 3. Well, normal people probably take 1, 2, 3. Me, not so much. I'm gonna have to go over this and clean it up a little bit better. Sand, do a lot of sanding. And what I'm gonna do is, because I'm not the greatest carver, I'm gonna have to fill in the wood filler in here. The bottom came out pretty good. I'll fill in the bottom a little bit here, just where the edges are, just to make it look real clean. And then that'll be that. Should be ready to go. And that's pretty much a wrap on that one. Got yourself a little Coffin snack tray. Like I said, 75 to 150 bucks I'd sell them for. Or just make them for yourself and friends. Give them away as gifts. They'd be great little gifts. And give it a shot. Let me know how you turn out. Let me know how yours turn out. Alrighty, we'll catch you on the next run.